right, I just got to wait for the click here. It's been a while. All right, there's the click. All right, I know I'm on. So good afternoon, everybody. It is 12:41. It is July 5th, 2025, the day after Independence Day. So glad to have you guys here. Not going to take up too much of you guys' time. There's just a lot on my mind. It's just so sad that people just don't want to follow the rules. They don't want to follow the laws. They don't want to do anything. No accountability until something happens. Where I live out in the desert, right? Very dry out here. This is not LA. This is not Orange County. This is not, we're in the desert. Everything is dry brush. In Riverside County, it is illegal to shoot fireworks. I wonder why. Because fires, right? But when you ain't got nothing, you ain't got shit, you don't give a damn right now. In San Bernardino County, from the last I checked, it's legal over there. San Bernardino County is about, I'd say about 10 to 12 miles away from where I'm at right now. And, it's just so sad that people just disregard the rules. So let me tie this into immigration, right? What's the big deal, right? They're good people. They work. They pay taxes, right? It's just a little firecrackers. Rules are set up for a specific reason, be it safety, be it this, be it that, right? We had so many fires yesterday. The fire, matter of fact, even before July 4th, there were fires going on because people were shooting firecrackers before the actual 4th of July. And our fire department was everywhere. There was fires everywhere. I woke up in the air. You could smell the smoke as it's drifting down because I live in a valley, and you could get this, the smoke and stuff in the valley. And not only, it's a fire hazard. We have a lot of animals out here. There's a lot of animal lovers in the city. This is the time of year where our animal shelters get overwhelmed with animals that just freak out, right? And I'm going to tell you guys, over my house last night, up until 3 a.m, I thought I was back in Iraq, okay? I mean, ordnance was just flying over my house. I am not kidding you. Debris was falling in my yard. Did they care? Even when I went over there and I said, hey, you guys aren't supposed to be shooting firecrackers in the county. That's what I got. But if I would call the cops, which would be a waste of time because they have more serious issues to deal with, it would have been a waste of time. By the time the cops got there, the people would have been gone or whatever the deal is. And it's just a waste of time. And then what's really sad is, this kind of puts animosity between the neighbors because, again, my house catches on fire. Who's going to rebuild it? Who's going to pay for it? Yeah, I have property insurance, but is it really worth going to jail? And then let's just think about, I live in an older part of the city. A lot of seniors in my area, people that are seniors, ex-military, whatever, retired military, like myself. And just think about the people that were in the military, the PTSD, no regard, no concern whatsoever for their fellow neighbors, fellow human beings. This area is riddled with a lot of ex-military. It's just sad. It's just a sad thing. But see, I don't understand liberals. When it comes to a situation like this, a lot of people will agree with me. Yeah, that's not right. They shouldn't do that. There's a reason. But then when it comes to immigration, oh, well, they're good people. And, yeah, the rules and the rules and the rules. But why should we have rules? Why? I should be able to go into a bank and just take out as much money as I want. I should be able to go and knock a woman over the head and just take her back to the cave. Right? I mean, what's the point? Yeah, when I jaywalk, jaywalking is a rule and a law. When I jaywalk, I'm taking a risk. If a policeman ever stopped me for jaywalking, I am never going to argue, ever, because I took the risk. Knowing, what do they tell you on the court shows? Ignorance of the law is no excuse. Right? That's what they say, right? I don't argue when I take the risk. So when you come over the border, you knew the risk. You're going to eventually get caught. You rob a bank. The risk, let's see, if I get away with it, I got the money. But I'll be running for the rest of my life. If I don't get away with it, I'm going to jail. There's a risk involved in it. Maybe it's because I'm a logical person. You can't say this and then say that when it's the same exact thing. If there's a rule and the rule is broken, there's consequences for the rule being broken. I don't care. People want to come over here, come on over. Come on over. Like Joe Biden said, come on over. What I thought when he did that, I thought that was a trap. I really did. I said, this man, and let you guys not forget, Kamala Harris was the border czar. Everybody keeps forgetting. Just think if she was president. She was the border czar under Biden. If she was president, what do you think would have happened to that border? But my point is, I always thought that was a trap, and right now it's a distraction. I think immigration is a distraction. Hey, April Lane, she says, get them up and out of here. Can't be wrong and strong. Right, exactly. I think by bringing all these people in here, everybody's focused on the immigration, which is a problem. But I think Congress is robbing us deaf, dumb, and blind, right? They're doing something else. The big bill just passed, right? Oh my God, the Medicare and the Medicaid, you're cutting everybody's people like. All right, I'm gonna talk to my black people, okay? I'm gonna talk to black people for a minute. We're at the bottom of the economic scale. There's no dispute about that. That is how this system has been set up. Blacks are at the bottom. That's why all these other people could come here and they're put above us. And then they bring their racism for wherever countries that they come from with them. I'm not saying everybody's a bad person. That ain't what I'm saying. We're just talking culture. That's just how it is, right? So we let these people in. They bring their racism with them, right? And you're hearing it on YouTube and everything where they're giving up the game and actually showing, when I hear a lot of my Mexican friends talk about what Mexicans did for black people during the Civil War and all this other stuff, it doesn't make sense to me because they don't tell the whole story. 12 black slaves that are helped by a bunch of Mexicans in Mexico flee, if that is the case, but because nobody could show me any documentation of that. I'm not saying it didn't happen, but I'm just saying overall that didn't happen, okay? It just didn't happen. So, when they talk about black and brown coalition and all this other stuff, when we were talking about it, oh, no, me no black. They delineate. I'm Dominican. I'm Puerto Rican. Me not black, right? So now, what's happening to them, and it's unfortunate that they're being targeted that way. Welcome to being a black person, right? I mean, when it's happening to us, I've been on this earth 55 years. 55 years. Watching what has happened to my people. Shit that's happened to me. Being pulled over for no apparent reason. I think a lot of the reasons why I got summarily dismissed in situations where I got pulled over by the police, it's because I was in the military. I really did. I think because I was in the military, the cop was like, okay, well, and I had some assholes. Get and do this. Well, slow down next time, or whatever he said, whatever the deal is. So I'm not giving anybody a pass. But when we wanted to ally with you, because all of these civil rights that my brown brothers and sisters keep quoting, they didn't work for. We worked for it. They're benefiting off of our deaths, our beatings, our dog attacks, the civil rights that they quote. But when we wanted to align with, like, yeah, we're all this, they didn't want to do it. They didn't want to do it. And now they're like, oh, we should come together, whatever. No, don't want to do it. You had your opportunity to deal, to come together. And then I'm hearing some of my brown brothers and sisters talk about how racist it is when black people, they're doing everything they can to get us out there to make it move and shake, because they can't make it move and shake like we do. But they don't. But they never tell you about the racism of the mestizos and the very dark-skinned Mexicans that is in their own in their home countries. When are you going to address that? So you expect me, a logical person, to trust you, and you don't even treat your own countrymen well. But all of a sudden, dark-skinned Donovan, who's just as dark as the mestizos or whatever these people are called, the native Mexicans that are dark-skinned like me, I'm supposed to trust you? Can't do it. Just can't do it. It's unfortunate that you're being targeted, but when we were telling you, hey, this isn't right, oh, you guys are always playing victim. Oh, you guys are always coming out with the race card. Oh, you guys are always that's what I was hearing from a lot of my friends. Not all of them, just some of them, Yo, you guys with the race card. Well, maybe if you guys stop doing crimes, that's what I was hearing.